mental coffee. So here's the thing. I have, as I'm sure you do, the listener, and everyone else that's not listening, a morning routine. And that morning routine usually consists of sort of a drink, a beverage, a snack, something like that. Well, the reason I call this mental coffee is because I feel like me, myself, something that I had been doing for the longest and I stopped. And it actually was a good learning lesson not to ever do again. But I had this morning routine where I would read all of my daily goals and accomplishments on this one thing. And then I have this notebook that I would write my daily goals every single morning. And that was my morning mental coffee. That was my morning motivation to say, this is your purpose, right? This is your whole mission, all right? Work is an intermission, but your life, your goal, your dreams, your passion is everything before and after work hours. So work harder, get it done, and get after it. That's what you call mental coffee, right? It's something that mentally gets you stimulated, gets you fired up. Because without that mental daily reminder as far as what it is in the hell that you're doing with your life, why you should be working out, why you want to be the best wrestler, why you want to be a champion fighter, why you want to be a comedian, why you want to be a writer, a doctor, it doesn't matter. You're you. And I truly believe that reading something, whether it's like a kind of like a mission statement for your life, at which point I have a lot of key words that mean different things to me. I got like 30 of them. And I take my time to read each one and I kind of let it mentally absorb into me, and I read it and I really just of substance think about it for a moment. And then I go on to the next one. And then after that, then I write my daily goals. And it's literally an exact list of the prior day, but writing it down, the manifestation, the visualization, putting things on paper is the first step of bringing things from your mind to reality. And in a bigger form, physicality, to being on that big stage, to getting that job promotion, to performing in front of an international sold out crowd. It starts in your mind, it goes through the pen into paper. You just made a seed. And no different than a farmer, when you plant a seed, it's unavoidable. I mean, you give it some water, some light, you take care of it, it's going to grow. Okay? Nobody in the wilderness grows any plants. Okay? They grow all on their own. They know what they're doing. They survive. You ever looked at a squirrel or something like that and you just thought for just 1 second, how is it that it can survive a winter? One winter. Do you think you could survive an entire winter in the woods by yourself? Squirrels, they're going to be here today, tomorrow, next winter, and always, right? So this is your wake-up call. Everything that I say is always a mental note, not just to myself, but you, the listener, as well. I have been consistently failing at not doing this. And I thought for some reason, maybe not that I didn't need it, but that I would be more efficient. And as opposed to being more efficient, I became more forgetful. And I felt like I was mentally lost. I felt like my compass, I didn't have it. I didn't have a point of direction, a sense of direction. I just tried to, go with it. But there's a great book, and it isn't exactly where I got this, but it is a great guy that does it. Grant Cardone. He's a multi-billionaire with a B, right? And that's something actually that he does. And I know another guy, David Goggins, not personally, right? But I essentially do what David Goggins does for his morning routine, having to do with like this thing that you read, right? All these different words or phrases or sentences that don't change. And maybe you add one onto them, add one onto that list after a while. And then something that Grant Cardone does, the multi-billionaire, right? He has a great book called 10X, which pretty much means if you multiply your lifestyle by 10, if you fall short, hypothetically, you're going to be well better than if you try to double your profit, double your results. If you're going to try to go from benching 100 pounds to 200, It's not easier to think, I'm going to bench press 1,000, because that's really just 10% of your goal. If I said 10% of your goal, well, that's still double the amount of 100 pounds. It's 200 pounds. That's great. But in the process of trying to get to 1,000 pounds or $1 billion, you're going to blow through your other goals. So once you start taking your next goal and multiplying that by 10, that should be your focus. That should be your focus. It's easier. Think about it like this. It's easier to follow through in a baseball swing and to hit a baseball than it is to come to a screeching halt and hit the ball right as it comes across the pitcher's mound. The home plate, right? So, again, like many things in life, I'm unfortunately always learning. And fortunately, always learning. I say unfortunately and fortunately because unfortunately I had to go through this lesson. But now I'm back. I'm better than ever. And it's this mental coffee that has got me stimulated in my mind for my mission, my goals, my accomplishments, and my purpose. I'm motivated, I'm dedicated, and I'm getting after it. If anything that I just said is helpful to you, that's a bonus, because all of my shows, they're always progressive, right? Now, when this comes out, this is going to come out after but like a little over a month of having no podcasts, and periodically, because I mean, even those daily goals, that's one of the things I write down my podcasts, right? Update, uh, edit, do all this other stuff, the podcast, do a podcast. So when this comes out, when you hear this, just realize this is a lesson that was learned, okay? And it is today, May the 15th, 5/15/2026, okay? That I essentially went back to making all these corrections. Actually, technically it was yesterday, but today is the podcast. So I'm just letting you know, because sometimes I release a podcast like a couple days after, but it is being up. I'm doing this right now, May the 15th. And I did my last 2 podcasts. I haven't even uploaded them, but I'm going to upload all of them at once. So when you hear this, the last 2 I just uploaded. And those last 2 were still me in the stages of not writing my daily goals, but I'm back. I'm back. I never left, but it's like I took a temporary motivational mental rest, which is awful. If you just remember, if you think about a fire, it's always easier to keep a fire going by adding that wood to it, right? As opposed to, right? Starting a fire, not that easy. Keeping a fire going, it's the easiest. And what can you do with that fire? You can get warm, you can cook, you can do all sorts of stuff. Heat your house. You can also start another fire with somebody else. So maybe something that I'm saying right now is firing you up, motivating you. So I'm telling you, write down a permanent list of, just start out with 1, and maybe there's 2, maybe there's more. Could be a Bible verse, maybe more than one Bible verse. Okay, those are your big life lessons that you write down, and you see them every single morning. And then your short term, your immediate, your long term goals, you write them all out. It could be 10 things, could be 20, could be 5. But the more you do it, you're going to start to see there's more things on that daily list. So there's the permanent list and the ever-changing list. A lot of things on your ever-changing list will also be repeated, but they're 2 different kind of lists. It's like you get a mental coffee morning refresher, and then it's like you top it off with like some espresso right after that. You go from being motivated to more motivated. Lessons learned, okay? And then goals. And you write each one down and you knock them out every single day. And whatever you don't, you can do tomorrow. But you write the ones that are repeated also daily. Again, lessons learned in your daily grind. This is Benja Welldone, motivated, fired up. Check me out. Peace.